As entrepreneurs, we love the idea of ownership. When we own a business, we have the opportunity to be more creative, to express what we want to express, and to have certain freedoms that jobs don't offer. Sure, it might also mean we have to work harder. It might mean that more is on the line, but most of us wouldn't have it any other way. There's another side to ownership, though, and that is the difference between earning a salary and having something that can explode into life-changing income. In other words, having equity in a company that can scale, that can become far more valuable than what our time alone could produce. And as I'll discuss in today's episode with a real-world example, how $5,000 could turn into $30 million. In fact, you don't need to completely own a business for this to happen. You just need equity. Specifically, you need equity in a startup business with the qualities of right place and right time. And yes, you can invest to gain this equity. This is the purpose of sites like Start Engine, and it's a totally different experience from investing in the stock market. Far greater risk, but far greater potential rewards, and usually more contact with the company and at least a sense of being part. But in today's episode, I'll talk to you about how you could capture substantial equity in a startup company without this type of investment and with minimal effort on your part. Best of all, the company's about to revolutionize the world of healthcare, which is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So if you'd like to align with one of the most powerful forces on earth, which is the healthcare industry, and you'd love to see it change for the better, and you love the idea of right time, right place, equity, and life-changing income, then stay tuned. This is the episode for you. This is the Heart Body Business Podcast. Inspiration, tips, and tools for entrepreneurs seeking a more fulfilling type of success. One that stems from exploring and expressing their true passion and purpose and finding healthy ways to do so. All coupled with insights and action items to get a business moving in the right direction. I'm Steve, your host, and I invite you to learn more at heartbodybusiness.com. I remember learning years ago about the rule of 70, which helps you to quickly know how long it will take for an investment to double in value. If you're earning 5% on an investment, then you divide 70 by 5 and you get 14. So it will take 14 years for your investment to double in value. Let's be generous and say you're earning 10%, which is more typical of the stock market over long periods of time. So you're doubling your investment every 7 years instead. If you put $5,000 into something at age 28, it would have the chance to double 6 times by the age of 70 and would become worth about $274,000. This is also why they encourage people to start investing as early as possible, because if you started at age 21, you'd have another 7 years and the opportunity for it to double again and become worth more than $500,000. Granted, you could lose all your money in stocks, but with a diversified portfolio, and if left untouched over time, this is the sort of return that people have seen historically. With startups, your chance to lose everything is greater. It's a good idea to really investigate a company and have confidence in market demand and its ability to satisfy that demand. And in my opinion, it's still a good idea to diversify by investing in several startups rather than just one. And of course, that doesn't keep you from also investing in traditional stocks, bonds, real estate, precious metals, and so on. In spite of the risk, if you can find the right startup to invest in, the returns can put everything else to shame. Think of those who had early equity in Apple, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, and so on. In fact, a $5,000 investment in Google when it went public would be worth around $300,000 today, an average rate of return of over 22%, which is really good. But If you had $5,000 in Google equity at its startup valuation, that is, its value before its IPO or stock launch, it would have increased in value prior to the IPO. And I've heard estimates that $5,000 in Google's startup valuation would be worth $30 million today. That's the difference between getting equity in a company at startup and getting it when it launches to the public. And the cool thing about startup valuation is that you don't buy it. You earn it, usually as an employee. But today I'm sharing an opportunity I've found to get equity in a company at its startup valuation without the investment and without being an employee. Yes, you still have to earn it, but the threshold is extremely low. You don't have to do a lot for it. And you can end up sitting on $5,000 in equity. Now, I mentioned this company is about to revolutionize the healthcare industry, but actually, that's just its first venture. I'm confident it will do this, but it's already poised to move into travel and more. Normally, that might be concerning because how can a company dominate different areas like this, especially massive markets like these? But here's the thing. The company is essentially a marketing company forming partnerships with those who already have game-changing technologies and need them brought into the world. So their first technology is one I talked about in my last episode, the ability to screen for COVID, flu, and other respiratory viruses using your voice and your phone. It's fast. You can complete a test in 5 to 10 minutes. It's private, no labs involved, no one tracking your health status. It's non-invasive, no swabs up the nose. It's accurate, in fact, 99% accurate when it gives you the all clear. And I can personally attest to its accuracy from use within my own circle of family and friends. Compare this to home tests, which are maybe 80% accurate, and PCR tests, whose accuracy depends on how they're running the test. And finally, it's free for people to try and inexpensive for them to continue using. This will save people countless dollars versus other options. And since it often shows contagion prior to symptoms showing up, it helps people know when to ramp up their health efforts and could become used as a way of knowing when to stay home from school, work, or other activities. It's even got mainstream credibility behind it as it was developed out of Carnegie Mellon and validated by research at Yale and MIT. Even if you're not personally caught up in the COVID narrative, a huge portion of the population is still concerned about this, which means there's tremendous demand. And in reality, it would be so much better if we all had an easy way to know when we're contagious with something for purposes of addressing it and perhaps avoiding other people. All this is done, by the way, with AI. This is an artificial intelligence technology in a time when AI is the absolute buzzword of business. AI is able to pick up nuances within the voice and specifically nuances shared by a group. For instance, everyone with this condition has this feature in their voices and other people do not. Turns out, the voice changes in tiny ways based on different conditions, and AI can pick this up. So where do you think this is headed then? The answer is, they're already working on ways to screen for many more conditions, and ultimately, I expect this will become the first form of screening for many or most health problems. And while that may drive some people toward their doctors, others will simply use this to better know what's happening in their bodies so they can respond with appropriate health measures. I think this empowers people to do what they feel is best to support their own health. Imagine that you have a piece of that. Imagine having equity at startup valuation in a technology that's likely to play that kind of role in healthcare. And now imagine that they've already partnered with another huge player in the health space, and we may be able to offer people some of the lowest costs available in the United States on prescription medications. I'm not personally a fan of lifestyle prescriptions, but I am a fan of putting more money back into people's pockets. Now imagine cross promotions between these two apps to grow this company. And imagine partnerships with other companies seeking to upend other areas like travel. Imagine having a piece of all that. This is why I'm so excited with this opportunity, especially because it's so easy to land this equity. So, what's involved? How do you end up with $5,000 in equity in this company? They're looking for affiliate partners who will help them to grow, people who will use and share the technologies they bring to market. And so they have a free affiliate program. Simply sign up for free through the link in the description of this episode, and you're an affiliate for the company. And it's not MLM or network marketing, by the way. It's simply a 2-level affiliate program. And when you sign up through my link, I'm happy to share what I'm doing to spread the word about their products. If you're wanting to take this to the next level and earn equity, though, there are 3 things you need to do. First, purchase a bundle of voice screenings for the app at wholesale for under $1,000 and payable over several months if you prefer. The screenings can be used personally or shared with your friends and family if you like. And the bundle adds you to a joint marketing program to help them drive more affiliates and downloads. Because of this, your job in spreading the word is greatly reduced. Second, share the program with just one other person who wants to become an affiliate and who purchases at least $100 in wholesale voice screenings. Third, share with at least 10 people who download the free health screening app. They don't have to spend a dime with it. Through these 3 steps, you're helping the company to establish a strong foundation on its way to millions of subscribers. And in thanks for doing your part, the company will reward you with $5,000 in equity at its startup valuation. The only caveat is this. At some point, probably in the next couple months, they will no longer offer this option. There's a limit as to how much equity they'll give out, and there's a limit as to how many people will be allowed into the joint marketing program. Of course, this is true with any opportunity to get equity in a company. Again, on sites like Start Engine, these companies raise capital for a time, and there's always a deadline. So as we speak of this specific opportunity, just know there's a limited time to get involved. And by the way, while I've focused on equity in this episode, following the 3 steps I described above also gives you a share in their global revenue from ads, global revenue from corporate and government contracts, and more. There are several opportunities to earn by being part of this organization. But to me, the big play, at least long term, is the equity. So in the end, you're putting in less than $1,000 here and doing minimal work, bringing in just one affiliate who makes a purchase of at least $100 and getting at least 10 people to download the free app. In exchange, you get substantial equity in a company that I think is poised to scale and dwarf its current value. In short, in a company poised to produce life-changing income for those who own a piece. Granted, this is entrepreneurial. It involves some time and money, and therefore some risk. But we are entrepreneurs. To me, this is what we thrive on, putting ourselves into something that we believe will grow and that we believe will ultimately give us more time, more money, and more freedom. If you feel this opportunity could do that for you and you're excited by the prospect of taking part in these types of technologies, then I welcome you to get involved through my link in the description. If I see that you've signed up, I will reach out to see if you need a hand. Maybe you want to remain a free affiliate and just share the apps with people. You can earn from doing just that, and I'm happy to give you some tips on how I'm doing it. But if you want to take this step toward equity, I'm happy to guide you on that as well. And if, for any reason, this isn't the startup opportunity for you, then perhaps keep the startup idea in your mind. Maybe it's your own business. Maybe it's another you can own a piece of. To me, startups are the surprises that can change the world, that can come out of the blue and startle us and make us smile with something new. I love the energy of this and encourage all of us to embrace that energy in our own efforts to improve the world. Till next time, thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe. You can also join our mailing list to get alerts on our latest episodes and other tips, tools, and news. Learn more and sign up at heartbodybusiness.com.